What's up, Internet? My name's David Webb.
I'm Arielle Edwards.
We get nerdy nightly.
And we thought we'd share it with you. That's a choice. How you
Such
doing?
a bad idea.
Yeah, how you doing? How's that chocolate taste?
Good. Really good.
All right, well, I'm glad it was worth it.
Well, I've been trying to find ways to get you to laugh again during that, and that one worked. I got you to laugh.
It did. Guys, welcome back for another edition of the Nightly Morning Show.
That's right, edition 66. I know. It's like, one day we'll get to show number 666. And we'll have to, like, show up in, like, devil makeup and, like, have a pentagram on the wall or something.
Great. I'm into it.
My mom's gonna love that.
I am here for it.
Do you think we're gonna do 666 episodes of this morning show?
Yeah. Yes, I do. Yeah.
All right. Mm-hmm. You heard it here first, folks. We're locked in.
Yeah. This is forever now. We don't get to stop.
It would be kind of fun to, like, if we were to do this for, like, a decade. Mm-hmm. To be able to, like, look back at how young and pretty we were.
Oh, God. That's going to be sad. And be like, where did these wrinkles come from?
But, y'all, it is a Monday edition of the Nightly Morning Show here on twitch.tv/nerdynightly, where we stream this live. If you're watching this on our YouTube feed or on our podcast feed with those little ears of yours, you can watch with your ears. Don't at me. Please come check out the live. It's fun. It's nice to have y'all in the chat, and we love participating in the conversation with people like Rock Mage, who has doubts.
That was good.
Thank you.
That was good. That was well done.
Thank you. Also, if you're listening to the podcast feed, rate this podcast 5 stars and leave us a review. We will read your reviews live on the show.
Yes, we will.
No matter what it says. As long as you give us 5 stars.
Yeah.
We will read whatever terrible, awful thing you write. As long as it's not, like, racist. Because there's too much racism in the world at the moment.
There's a line that we draw, but,
yeah.
you know, we have morals.
We're thinking more like try and write something funny and silly for me to say rather than, like, something disparaging towards an ethnic group.
Yeah. 5 stars. Apple Podcast.
5
please.
stars. So it is Monday, January. What's the date today? The 12th? 11th.
The 11th.
It is the 11th of January, 2021. We are past the 10-day mark of this year. Has everything fixed itself yet?
God, no.
No. We are hearing, we do mostly entertainment news, but we are hearing that articles of impeachment are going to be laid before Congress at the top of the hour, at the end of our show. So it does feel somewhat like we are getting this one in right under the wire.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Fine by me. As long as we're doing it, I am here for that.
Yeah. It is going to be interesting to see what happens today.
Uh-huh.
It's going to be an interesting day for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But we are going to be here tomorrow, no matter what, giving you the nerd news.
Absolutely.
Do you want to talk about what is there anything you want to talk about before we get into the news? Any personal stuff? Any anecdote? Maybe a funny story?
A funny story?
From the weekend? Do you have a funny story from the weekend?
What did we do this weekend?
We mostly played Hades.
Yeah.
I think they might be tired of us talking about Hades, though.
That's probably true. We didn't do much else, so I don't really
You
have
beat Hades. Wait, no, you beat Hades on Friday.
I did.
You did.
I did beat Hades.
You streamed for 10 and a half hours.
Yes, I did.
To beat Hades.
Yes, I did. Worth it.
Oh, 100% worth it.
All of it.
It was very fun.
It was great. There's going to be a compilation coming for you guys on the YouTube.
Ooh, a little
with
tease.
All the losses.
A little tease. Are you going to show the win too, or just the losses?
No, we'll do the win at the end, just because then it's all in one place. But yeah, that's what we did this weekend, pretty much. There's not much else.
Yeah.
So I don't have anything. Do you have anything you want to share?
No, I have the news.
The news, baby.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, if you were waiting for the spin-off Green Arrow and the Canaries, unfortunately, I have to let you know
You're gonna have to keep
CW
waiting.
has passed on the show.
Yeah.
Don't keep waiting.
Mm-hmm.
The show is not being picked up. It was supposed to be a spin-off featuring Oliver Queen's daughter, Mia Smoke, who is obviously his daughter with Felicity from the show, played by Catherine McNamara, who's probably best known for her role in Shadowhunters. She's the lead of that television series. Katie Cassidy as Laurel Lance, and Juliana Harkavy as Dinah Drake as the two Canaries. This was supposed to be this was supposed to be a show that was a follow-up to Arrow. Mm-hmm. And while I'm disappointed, I really enjoyed these characters, and I really enjoyed the show Arrow, and I kind of was hoping to have... what I really liked about Arrow in the Arrowverse was it was the show that didn't have a lot of superpowers. There was a lot more of the grounded fight sequences. I really thought that Arrow always really handled those fight sequences, the hand-to-hand stuff really well, and the choreography was fun to watch. Mm-hmm. I was hoping to have another show like that. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the Canaries have their sonic screams, but the shows always use those sparingly.
Yeah.
At the same time, I know you didn't watch to the end.
Green Arrow?
Yeah.
No.
But the stories for Laurel and Dinah, like the most interesting parts of their stories have kind of already been told.
Yeah.
And so having them star in this sequel series would be difficult in a way.
Yeah, like you would have to try to either like one-up yourself or it would just feel kind of pointless. I feel like.
Well, and what's kind of nice for like new CW shows is that they can start from the ground floor. They can introduce characters, introduce conflict. Mm-hmm. This, you kind of have to start at the level of the last season of Arrow.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to keep going bigger than they did.
Yeah.
And Arrow
went big.
And Arrow was at its worst when it went big.
Yeah.
Arrow was at its worst, like as much as I love Norman Dark. No, not Norman Dark. Damien Dark? I can't remember. Dark. That season, season 4 of Arrow, Damien Dark. Thank you. I got Norman Osborn in my head somehow. Damien Dark. The magic season of Arrow was a little bit tough just because it was an enemy that just... Oliver had no way to really fight him.
Yeah, I think season 4 is about when I stopped. Mm-hmm. Actually, that sounds about right. I think I got 3 to 4 seasons in, somewhere around there, and I just... stopped. So I wonder if that was it. The
saving grace of that season is how charismatic Damien Dark is. Mm-hmm. Like, that actor is so good. And when they pulled him into Legends of Tomorrow, he's so good. Mm-hmm. I really, really love him. And I want him to be in everything. But I do kind of get why CW didn't move forward with the show.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Mm-hmm. I'm not really surprised. Like, when I heard that they were going to do this, I was like, okay. I mean, I was like, I'm not really interested in watching it. Especially because, like, well, we're honest on here. I didn't think that the girl who played Laurel, was it Laurel?
Yeah.
Laurel, I didn't think she was very good. I'm sorry. I
like her a lot.
Maybe that's a bit harsh, but, like, she actually very much bothered me on the show.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, once they kind of get... I don't blame the actress for what her character is going through in the first couple seasons at all. Once they kind of get over the, like, trying to figure out if she's going to be Oliver's love interest of it all, Laurel is great. And once they kill off the original Laurel and she becomes Earth 2 Laurel... Sorry, spoilers, kind of, for a show that's very old at this point. But once they kind of get past that...
When does that happen?
The Earth 1 Laurel dies in season 4.
Yeah,
Damien Dark. Damien Dark's the one who kills her.
I think maybe I saw that.
Yeah.
I think that was about where I am.
And her when she comes back as her Earth 2 counterpart, she's great. Mostly because she like has more to do. She's complicated. She isn't quite the like. They fell into a kind of a tropey like, almost like a. They just didn't know what to do with it because basically, Laurel in the comics is the Black Canary.
Yeah.
And is also, like, Oliver's, like, Lois Lane.
Yeah.
And in the show, they didn't know what to do because they introduced Felicity Smoke, who really is his true love on that show. And, like, their relationship is such a cornerstone to that show. Mm-hmm. And I just felt like they kind of wrote themselves into a position of not really needing Laurel.
Yeah.
But still having to have her on the show because she is, like, the main Green Arrow character that people know other than Oliver. Mm-hmm. And... until they figured out what they were doing with that character, it was tough for Katie Cassidy being kind of bounced around the show into whatever role they just needed her to play that week.
Yeah.
And I think she did an admirable job of that, but it is tough to kind of be
be that person.
It's tough for any actor who is a regular on a TV show or even like a frequent recurring, to be at the periphery of a lot of stories.
Yeah.
Because your character is at the behest of what the story needs.
Mm-hmm.
And so the show has to put its focus and its time into its main characters.
Yeah.
And you are there to further their stories and not really there to tell your own.
Mm-hmm.
And that can be really tough. And actors who are really good at existing in that space, a lot of actors in Breaking Bad really pulled that off.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of that's writing, and it's hard to overcome the writing a lot of the time.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not really surprised that that the show won't be happening well, or that it wasn't picked up now anyways.
Mm-hmm. I'm sad. I would have liked to have seen this. I thought it would be fun to have a Green Arrow storyline that's with more focus on the three women.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I think that John Diggle would be able to come back and appear every once in a while, and I love him so much. He's one of the best parts of that whole universe that they built, and I just want to see him as a Green Lantern. I'm really hoping we're going to see him as a Green Lantern. I know he's set to appear in some stuff with the CW verse going forward. Mm-hmm. So hopefully,
we'll see.
I don't want to spoil anything, so I can't talk about anything, but I'm very excited. In other television news, this is the news I was saying that my mom is gonna love.
Oh,
while we are not going to be getting the Green Arrow and the Canaries, we are getting a reboot of Sex and the City.
A reboot?
Well,
is it not still going?
No, God no.
Oh, I thought it was one of those shows that like never dies. I thought Sex and the City was just like an ongoing thing, like Jersey Shore. No,
Sex and the City originally went off the air in I don't even know, like 2006 or 7.
Okay.
And then they made 2 movies. Yeah, there hasn't been a new episode of Sex and the City in a long time.
Oh, I just thought it always existed on television.
No.
Cool.
No.
Shows how much I know about this show.
Original stars Sarah Jessica Parker, Kirsten Davis, who plays Charlotte, Sarah Jessica Parker is Carrie, and Cynthia Nixon, who plays Miranda, made the announcement Sunday on social media that their former HBO comedy will live on. This is from The Hollywood Reporter. They are going to be doing it on HBO Max. So HBO Max is about to get a lot of subscribers, because that's an audience. There's a certain audience who will show up for that show. And it's also an audience that does have money. Sometimes when comic book stuff goes to these streaming services, I'm like, a lot of your audience is kids who aren't going to pay for a streaming service.
Yeah.
The Sex and the City audience, they can afford it.
Mm-hmm.
But Kim Cattrall, who has been famously feuding with Sarah Jessica Parker for years, and asked that if they were going to be bringing the show back, that Samantha, her character, be recast with someone. She doesn't want to do it, and she's saying if you're going to bring the show back, recast Samantha ethnic, so that there is some ethnicity on this very white show, which I commend her for. I think it's I know that she cares a lot about those movements. I know that she's a very progressive person.
For sure.
I do think it's interesting to be like, I don't want to do it, so give it to...
I guess. I mean, but what else are you going to do in that situation?
No, of course, yeah.
You know, I get that.
It's very interesting.
I don't know anything about the show. I've never seen a single episode.
It's mostly about a woman who is a columnist for a magazine, who has an apartment that looks like she is a CEO of a bank.
That's nice.
She's a columnist, but she has the largest walk-in closet in New York City.
Can I get that?
I would love that, right? And it's her and her 3 friends drinking and having sex with men. And it's great. Honestly, I say that jokingly. Sex and the City is actually a very funny show.
It does not sound like my kind of show.
Probably not. No, I don't think you would enjoy it. But I liked it. I watched it a lot with my mom growing up. And I know that my mom loves it. It's beloved. Rockmage says I described it perfectly, so I'm going to take that as a win. It is a beloved show. People adore Sex and the City.
Okay. If you say so.
And I mean, but here's the thing. I worked at Dylan's Candy Bar in New York City, and we are part of the Sex and the City tour.
What do you mean?
Which is a tour bus that takes tourists. Well, because there's an episode where someone on the show goes into a Dylan's Candy Bar, and so there's a tour bus in New York City that takes you around to all of the Sex and the City filming locations. And so these drunk white women would come into the show, or come into the store, sorry, to like, oh my god, this is where the show happened. And they would like literally like have like flasks of white wine. And they would be drunk at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon on the Sex and the City tour.
Okay.
And we would just be like, oh, yeah, what do you, just leave. Like they don't even want candy.
They're just there to look around.
And there's a famous episode of some show. Oh no, it's How I Met Your Mother. Where he's like screaming on the street and then the person is on the Sex and the City bus. They do this on How I Met Your Mother.
Oh, I didn't notice what like bus it was.
Yeah, the Sex and the City tour bus is like, it's a famous thing. People love this show, so I'm not surprised that it's coming back. It is going to be weird to do it without Samantha or with a different actress playing Samantha. Mm-hmm. It's also weird to do it at the age that these actresses are at now.
Yeah, is the premise still drinking wine and having sex?
I mean, it's mostly drinking Cosmos.
Oh, sorry.
The cocktail, yeah. They don't drink a lot of wine. It's a lot of Cosmopolitans.
All right. Cosmos,
yes, they're very
and
fancy. It's not that I don't think like people of a certain age shouldn't be having sex.
No.
It's the Newsroom, not How I Met Your Mother. Thank you. Yes. Harper.
Okay, I was like,
there's a whole thing where there's a whole thing around the scene with the Sex and the City bus, and it's amazing. Thank you, Richard Team 7.
I was like, I do not remember this episode of How I Met Your Mother, and I've seen the show many times. So.
I got confused because it's the Newsroom, but it's so good. It really is. We need to watch the Newsroom. It's so good.
I just like.
What was I saying?
So we were. I was saying we were talking about what the possible like premise would be. So what happens
Dark Dispatch
at the end
nailed
of
it. Dark Dispatch says the original was pre-marriage sex. The reboot will be post-divorce sex and booze.
All right.
That was more where I was going. As far as we know, most of these characters are married right now.
Right, and for the show to exist in the way that it existed before, they can't really be married.
Yeah, because only one of them was like consistently married, which I think was Charlotte was pretty married the whole time. I mean,
unless they're all in like open relationships. But I just don't feel like that's the show that's gonna be picked up.
Yeah, it's a little.
Not there's anything wrong with that, but I just don't really understand. I don't know what the show is gonna be.
Yeah, I do wonder. I do wonder if it's just going to be. Yeah. I'm very curious.
And are they going to be sleeping with people who are their same age?
I mean, I would assume that they'll be younger men. That's what happens, right? You get divorced, you find a nice, like, hunky 25-year-old.
Maybe it's going to be like a sugar mommy TV show.
I'm down for whatever they want to do. Like, I think these actresses are talented. If you put the right team behind it.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's any... I think that this could go well. It is an interesting choice.
I just don't know what it's going to be. I'm just trying to figure it out.
Because as far as I'm aware, all of them are married at the end of the second movie. I wonder if they'll just ignore the movies.
They're like...
Pull a Terminator.
The movies do not exist.
I mean, they could and maybe should. But speaking of movies, we have some new movies coming out in the next year, which is very fun. And we have found out that the first trailer for the new movie Venom, Let There Be Carnage is coming out on February 7th. That is significant because... Do you know what's on February 7th?
It's a week before Valentine's Day.
The Super Bowl!
Oh.
That's right. The Super Bowl is on February 7th. And the first trailer for Let There Be Carnage, the new Venom movie, will premiere during the halftime show.
Oh, cool.
Which I don't know, is going to be very different this year. Because you can't have like a group of dancers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm very curious.
Unless they're all 6 feet apart. There's not very many dancers, but they take up space real well. Yeah,
it's going to be a very different halftime show. But at the Super Bowl, we are going to see the first trailer for Let There Be Carnage. Are you excited to see Woody Harrelson as a superhero serial killer?
Actually, yeah. We watch Venom, and like I can see what its failings are as a movie, but we also we enjoyed it. I
enjoyed the heck out of it.
Yeah. Like I very much enjoyed it.
I've seen Venom a few times, and every single time I'm like, oh yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
It's weird, and I like it.
It wasn't my favorite, but like there were things that I really enjoyed about it, and that like teaser for Carnage was great. Like I actually I'm kind of down.
Yeah.
I'm kind of excited.
I think what really worked about Venom for me was that they were like, we could make this really typical and just make it like Eddie Brock gets like angrier. Or what if we made it really weird?
Yeah, and they went that direction.
And they did. And you know what? I give them props for it because Venom could have been a boring, angry Spider-Man ripoff.
Yeah.
And instead, it is very much its own thing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate when movies feel unique. And Venom was definitely unique. Mm-hmm. And I just, I really like that. I enjoy it. And I'm very excited for this movie.
Yeah.
Also, Woody Harrelson is just...
He's great.
He's so funny.
Yeah.
That, like, at first I was like, no, Cletus Cassidy, who's in the Carnage, who he's playing, should be, like, a scrawny, you know, like, lanky little dude. Mm-hmm. But when I really think about the, you know, shows like Mindhunter, they show that these serial killers are these charismatic people.
Yeah. At
times. And, you know, a lot of serial killers have this weird, charming energy to them. A lot of them don't. You know, it can be either way. But the idea, Woody Harrelson can be very charming. Mm-hmm. Woody Harrelson has that other thing in him.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to see Cletus Cassidy portrayed as being deranged and evil and all those things. But also being able to kind of like blend into a crowd and be charming and come across as a certain way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think Woody Harrelson, more than a lot of other people, has both of those in him, and I'm really excited for that.
Yeah.
I'm also just excited to get Tom Hardy talking to Tom Hardy again, because that's the best part of the whole movie is the conversations that he has with himself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great.
And that he insisted on voicing Venom is so funny to me.
Yeah, I love it. Like, I think it was a great choice.
Yeah, we're going to be watching the Super Bowl. Have you watched a full Super Bowl before?
I mean, like, it has been on in my presence, but I haven't, like, looked at it.
The thing is, I'm going to want to do some trailer reactions to this stuff. So we might have to, like, record or have, like, the camera ready to, like, hit record during the commercials.
Great. All right. That's fine.
We'll do Super Bowl trailer reactions live.
Oh, God. That's something.
In better movie news for the movie Wonder Woman, which is already out, it has regained its fresh status on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
After gaining a few more positive reviews and bouncing back to a 60%. It had previously fallen to 59% and was rotten on the website for about a week. But it's now back up.
I feel like I need to go read these positive reviews and find out what people, like, how deep did people have to dig to find something good about it?
Yeah.
Like, I really want to know. I'm very curious.
Yeah, it's very interesting, right? Because the article that I pulled this from Comic Book Movie, pulled a couple of reviews. Yeah. This one from the reader reads, Warner Brothers spent $200 million to waste 2.5 hours of everyone's life as a small measure of revenge.
Yeah, that sounds pretty accurate, actually.
Yeah. In this, on and on, this wonky, barely coherent tale, weakened further still by the wonky, barely expressive acting skills of Godot. I disagree with that. I think Gal Gadot is a talented actress. I think she's an enjoyable person to watch on screen, and I think she actually does some of her best acting in this movie.
Okay.
The goodbye scene to Steve Trevor, I felt like she was, like, genuinely expressive in a way that I found that if the moment hadn't been so preposterous to me, I would have found emotional.
Yeah.
I was taken out by, like, the, like, body swap weirdness of it, and that kind of killed the emotion for me, but Gal Gadot's acting in that moment I felt was solid.
Yeah. And that's the thing that, like, the reason I'm being so harsh on this movie is because, like, you know, there are a lot of movies that people have, like, different opinions on. This is my style, this isn't my style, that kind of thing. The problems with Wonder Woman are legitimately, like, it doesn't make sense, and there are moral, like, questions and lines that are crossed, and like nobody cares. Like, it kind of goes further than just like, I don't really like Christopher Nolan movies, or like that kind of, you know, as an example. And so I just am so confused as to who is enjoying this movie. I
have no idea. People are, though. What is interesting is so now we have the full weekend, right? Mm-hmm. In the top 10, Wonder Woman, The Croods 2, News of the World, Monster Hunter, Fatale, Promising Young Woman, Pinocchio, The War with Grandpa, and Come Play. In that order. Not one movie in that list is new.
Nope.
Nope.
I love Alien 2020 re-release.
Oh yeah, at number 10, yeah. There's no new movie at the box office this weekend.
No.
Which is such a bizarre thing to see. And I know that it happened a lot last year.
Yeah.
But, coming into 2021, I was kind of hoping that things were going to start picking up.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't look like people are releasing movies.
Yeah.
Next weekend will not be a good weekend for movie releases because it is... not next weekend. But the next few weekends will be tough because it is the football playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Super Bowl weekend is always a lower weekend for the Super Bowl... or for the movie-going audience, the Super Bowl, because it always kills Sunday. Everyone's with their friends, parties. Totally. Do wonder if the Super Bowl is going to be another super spreader event like Christmas clearly was. Very nervous about that. But, the weekend box office, no new movies. Just a bunch of movies doing okay. No one,
Stay the F at home.
Wonder Woman only pulled in $3 million this weekend, which isn't great. It's another drop of about 45%. It did cross 131 million worldwide, which is a small saving grace. There's not a lot of good news at the box office right now. Yeah. Except for Croods. Actually, I will say Croods making 36 million in the States, considering everything. That's not
pretty impressive, yeah.
And News of the World has made $7 million domestically. Yeah. And is getting really good reviews. They're saying that Tom Hanks will probably get nominated again. Although it is kind of a weird year for the Oscars, so who knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, we'll see.
Our chat is having a discussion about body swapping.
Body swapping, yeah.
Body swapping's weird. And movies that do it, there's a way to do it right. Like Freaky Friday does body swapping right. You know what I mean? Yeah. That is the right way to handle it.
Yeah, 100%. But like...
Big does it wrong.
People are playing like fast and loose with it,
What's tough is I kind of... I love the movie Big nostalgically because I loved it as a kid. Mm-hmm. But objectively, it's wrong. Yeah. Wonder Woman does it wrong. Soul kind of does it wrong.
Soul is a weird...
It's weird.
Soul is a weird one. Because they distinctly say that 22, was it 22? 22. The 22 uses a middle-aged white woman's voice to be annoying. It seems to be the most annoying to people. But they're also a soul who so it's just very odd. It's not a clear, it's not a definitive thing like Wonder Woman. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's this is doesn't make me feel right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also feel it tried to say, I don't know. It's tough. Yeah. Yeah, it's not, I don't think it's a definitive issue. It's more how you feel personally. I enjoyed the movie. Yeah. While also there were times when I was like, this is odd. And I didn't love the ending. But I've said that. I felt like I was a little confused by what was going on.
Yeah, the way that they tied everything together was questionable.
But it is good, and the emotional message of it is strong.
Yeah, that's the thing. The messages that they tried to get across with this movie were definitely came through, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. At least it mostly made sense within its own logic, unlike Wonder Woman 1984. Should we stop talking about Wonder Woman? Will we be happier if we just move on?
Probably. We'll probably get more enjoyment out of life if we forget that Wonder Woman 84 exists.
So we got some news about Fox News, which is technically business news. You know what I mean? Entertainment business.
Fox News or Fox Entertainment?
No, Fox News.
Great.
They have shuffled their schedule, and they've added a new opinion show at 7 o'clock. This show is called Fox News Primetime, which makes it sound like it's a news show, but they're being oblique about the fact that it is an opinion show. And I would just like to point out that all shows on Fox News are opinion shows. They have not reported the news in years, and the entire network will hopefully collapse at some point under the weight of its own lies and misleading information. Yeah. Do you all know what my favorite Fox News thing is?
What?
So Tucker Carlson, who you've probably seen screaming.
He's the angry one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He's the pathetic angry one. Sean Hannity's the angry one.
Which one has the longer hair?
Tucker Carlson has the longer hair.
Okay, that's the one that I've seen.
So Tucker Carlson was taken to court for lying on his show, and Fox News' argument, which they won with, was that no reasonable viewer would believe Tucker Carlson. I'm not joking. Like, they legitimately went to court and were like, well, no reasonable human being would believe Tucker Carlson. So everyone knows that what he's saying is opinion because it's Tucker Carlson. And they won. The judge was like, the judge agreed with them. The judge was like, yeah, I mean, he's Tucker Carlson. There's no way a reasonable human being.
You call it news.
Yep. Mm-hmm. This is my point. Fox News is an opinion channel, and you will never sway my mind from that. And Tucker Carlson is scum.
Dumpster fire.
That has just been like scooped out of the bottom of a New York City sewer and put on television. Am I being aggressive lately? I'm upset about the state of the world. I just wanted to call out that Fox News has an opinion show called Fox News Primetime, which makes it sound like it's important news, but it is not. It is their opinions, and they are marketing it poorly. Just like Tucker Carlson is marketed as a news show, but Fox News went to court to say that it is not a news show.
Yeah.
So I just, people are like, how did we get here? And I'm like, oh, maybe it's because there's a news show that's an opinion show that's not a news show, but it calls itself a news show. Maybe, just maybe, that's how we got here.
Yeah. I mean, there were a few times in Calgary when Fox News was on, and I was just like, it was like I couldn't look away from this, like, train crashing and burning and exploding and people dying and, like, it would, like, I don't get it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I get that the news is selling advertisements nowadays. I totally get that. We're not. This is a proper news show. We deliver the news, we give our opinions, but we obliquely say they're our opinions. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm more than willing to give you my opinion. I think Fox News is trash. That is not news.
That is not news.
And when we do the Clarks Makes Up the News, which we're going to do in a couple of minutes here, we obliquely say that is not news. Mm-hmm. Where was I going with this?
I don't know.
I lost my train of thought. What I will say is that Fox News is trash. And
wow.
Sorry we've been a little bit more political lately, but
it's hard not to be.
It's hard not to be. In good political news, Parler CEO says the service has been dropped by every vendor and could end its business. Maybe if you become the platform of white supremacists, you shouldn't be in business.
And that's the news.
And that's the problem with free speech. People think in the United States that free speech means that they can say whatever they want, wherever they want, and that is not true of the internet because it isn't owned by the government. So we, as a society, can decide, hey, you suck, and we're not going to let you publish that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I hate Fox News so much because they're such a huge part of why there are members of my family who are on the side of the clown we call president.
Apparently they're on mine too.
Yeah. And we've tried very hard to keep our stuff apolitical on Twitch. And we did that for a long time. We didn't talk politics. We didn't talk about stuff like this for a long time.
Oh, we talked about the election.
Not really, though. Like, we were pretty much like, we're not going to tell you to vote for it, just vote. Like, we tried really hard. But I'm kind of done with that, and I hope that you're okay with that. Mm-hmm. Their lines have been crossed. And lines were crossed so many times, and I don't even know why I'm saying that. But, like, we just figured Twitch wouldn't be the place, and we'd keep that to our personal social medias and whatever. But, this is news. Fox News is no longer a news... is not a news channel anymore.
Yeah.
They have decided they're an opinion channel. And they're finally saying it. At least they're calling the show an opinion show, which is what it is. Yeah. But Fox News is an opinion show. And it's entertaining because it's loud, and they do really well with, their color theory and whatnot, and they create very, very high quality content. Mm-hmm. I will never take it from them. Fox News makes incredible television. It's just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but it should be taken off the air. Like, and people who are saying, well, at least it's better than One America News or what's that other one, Newsmax? It's not. It's not, because it is veiled in the auspices of validity.
It shouldn't be allowed to be called news.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Should be like Fox show. Like, I don't know what is, but like being able to call it Fox News is just a travesty. Like,
yeah. And honestly, I think the United States is going to have to, just realistically, is going to have to legislate what constitutes as news. Mm-hmm. And I think that, you know, for so long, news has sort of self-policed, mm-hmm. and that is clearly not working.
Yeah.
And the United States is going to have to step in and, monitor its news programs for validity. We cannot have lies being printed as the truth. We have too much of that on social media, and people just believe it. I have friends who a friend of ours posted something on Facebook the other day that was a tweet that was very inflammatory about the vaccine rollout in Alberta.
Yeah.
And the first comment on that person's post was, hey, like, this is lacking so much context because it's a tweet. And tweets, you can write something really inflammatory in a tweet, but if you look into the full story, it's not that bad. Like, this one was about how at the end of the day they're throwing away vaccine doses.
Okay.
And the person was like, they're throwing away vaccine doses at the end of the day. And the truth is that they're wasting about 0.3% of the vaccine doses that they're getting through them being spilled or them being out too long unrefrigerated.
I was gonna say the vaccine is kind of fragile. Sensitive, so. And
so a typical influenza vaccine rollout wastes 6%. Their waste is at 0.3%. And they're like, yes, we are wasting some vaccine. Yeah. It happens. Yeah. It is impossible to ensure that every single dose gets into someone. It doesn't happen. There is a little bit of waste. But we're doing so much better than our typical influenza vaccine rollout that, like, why are you upset? We're doing better than we usually do. Mm-hmm. We are clearly doing better than we usually do. We have stepped it up. To write this inflammatory tweet about that 0.3% is so ridiculous, but then people only see the tweet. And we live in a world where you only see the tweet and you believe it and you roll with it. Mm-hmm. And it is so dangerous. And so if there is a news site or a news channel like Fox that only sees the tweet and they just run with it, it is dangerous to society. And I'm done pretending that Twitch is our safe place where we don't talk about this stuff because it's important. Mm-hmm. And sorry to throw it in at the end of the show. We were trying to have fun, but like, Fox is dangerous.
Yeah, I agree 100%. No.
Y'all, we're at the end of the show here, which means it's time for Clarice to make up the news. Clarus? I warned you. I very loudly said that it was about to happen.
Reports from a unidentified young boy are saying that Tucker Carlson was carried away by centaurs in the Forbidden Forest, and we haven't seen from him since. And that's the news. That one just came to me. It's real. It's 100% real. This is the news show. Yeah.
No, that's not real. It's fake news. See, we're good about this.
What?
Do you think Tucker Carlson starts his show with...
I hope so.
Do you need a lozenge? Oh, that was the best one yet. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
That was good.
Thank you.
That threw me off.
Thanks.
I wasn't prepared.
I thought that would be a good one.
Y'all, we do not usually get political on this show, but we did today. Sorry about that. Usually we talk about the entertainment news, which we had plenty of. So I hope that you feel nice and satisfied, and I hope that you feel like you're going to make it to tomorrow now, knowing that you know what's going on in the world of entertainment. Mm-hmm. This is the Nightly Morning Show. We stream this live on Twitch, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. Eastern. Mm-hmm. If you'd like to watch this live, come join us there. If you want to watch this later, it is up on the YouTube channel as well as our podcast feed. There's a lot on the YouTube channel as well as the 60 episodes that... 58 of the 60 episodes that preceded this one. 2 last week did not get recorded properly.
Oops.
Or put up. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. That was fun. Also, you can catch us live on Twitch throughout the week. We are going to be live every day this week except Friday. So you're going to be on today?
Yes.
Playing what? More Hades?
Well, I was supposed to be baking, and I'm trying to figure out if that's what I'm going to do. Because I didn't, tell anyone.
Or plan or get ingredients or...
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm trying to decide if I'm going to wing a baking stream or if I'm gonna play some video games. So I'm gonna be hitting up the Discord. So if you're not already there, come chat with me. We'll figure out what the plan is for today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll be back tomorrow. Sorry, last week got so messed up on my channel, y'all. Twitch, life, things happen. But I will be back all week. We're going to be playing, we're going to be going back to our Nuzlocke tomorrow. And we're going to actually start the stream with a little bit of that Monster Hunter Rise demo, because I am excited to play that with you all. But, as always, my name is David Webb.
I'm Marielle Edwards.
Do something nerdy tonight.
Bye. Bye.